Buenos nachos, and welcome to another edition of the Major League Minor Show. The only show that's not hosted by a fake news organization or a left-wing wacko. I'm your host. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or our YouTube account at Major League Minor Shows. Week 2 is in the books, and what a week it was. The PAFA has a new #1 in the rankings, and there was a huge game-ending tie. The NPFL has a major blowout and a close call for #5 team. All this including scores, rankings, highlights, and predictions right after these messages.
Light them up again, baby. Light them up, baby! Light them up!
This week in the PAFA, brought to you by Developmental Football USA, we have a new front-runner. The Tri-City Panthers have bounced back from last year's CFL championship game to reign the #1 seat and improved to 2-0 in the season as they slaughtered the OKC Bulls 56-9. The Panthers, who are led by veteran quarterback Rico Watkins, have put their nose to the grindstone and are the leaders in this week's forced points. The Enid Enforcers traveled north on I-35 to take on the Kansas Cougars. A close game, but the depth of the Cougars roster proved too much as the Cougars get their first win of the season with a score of 16-0. The Game of the Week honor goes to Northwest Arkansas Battle and the Joplin Crusaders. The surprise of the week was how the Battle defense kept the game close, so close that we had our first tie ending in OT. Those who watched the game live, thanks to our partners at the Springdale Sports Network, were in for a treat. We love a great matchup, and we were certainly entertained by a great game. To watch the next live game, you can always find them on Facebook, Twitter, or CityLink. Just look for Springdale Sports Network. We also will post the games live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube account. For more on last week's games, we send you over to the highlights with Chisel Adonis. Always entertaining and fun to watch, you can catch Chisel Adonis on his Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or even on his YouTube account at Chisel Adonis. You have to see some of his commentary. It's hilarious. You won't be disappointed. Speaking of comments, that brings us to this week's Player of the Week. Players of the Week awards are brought to you and sponsored by Images and Tile. Custom murals in your home, office, or wherever. What better way to capture your glory years with a mural inside your office or in your man cave? Contact them at www.imagesandtile.com. Offensive Player of the Week goes to Tri-City Panthers quarterback Rico Watkins. Dr. Watkins has surgically put up 450 passing yards and 6 touchdowns in 2 games. This man has a steady hand like a surgeon. Now our Defensive Player of the Week goes to Chris Scott of the Oklahoma City Jaguars. Scott has recorded 20 tackles, 18 of those solo, and 2 assists, along with 9 sacks. This defensive end has some speed and some sure arms. Congratulations to our Players of the Week. And that'll take us into this week's matchups and predictions brought to you by T-Lake Apparel Company. For all your uniform and merchandising needs, contact our friends at T-Lake and ask about the Major League Minor discount. Our first game is the lock of the week as the Lawton Savages take on the Oklahoma City Bulls. The Bulls, who are winless and are hungry though, are ready to reclaim their first win of the season, but the Lawton Savages are going to have their hands full as they're going to have to compete up against another Oklahoma City team. I don't see this as a brutal beating, but I think the Bulls are going to trample on the Savages with a score of 21-7. Next, we will see the Kansas Cougars travel down to Enid to take on the Enid Enforcers for the 2nd week in a row. This time I predict a closer game, but the outcome will be the same more or less, with the Cougars winning in my prediction by a score of 14-10. That brings us to this week's Game of the Week. This Game of the Week will be broadcasted by our partners and friends at the Springdale Sports Network as the Tri-City Panthers look to continue their winning streak by taking on the battle-tested, battle-proven, battle-hardened Northwest Arkansas Battle at home. This game could go either way, but I like to see Rico Watkins pulling out a squeaker, so I'm going to give this one a score of 28-21. We'll be right back to talk about the NPFL after this.
Here at Lightning Bell Bonds, we care about you and we will fight for you. We understand you are facing a difficult situation. You need someone like us on your side. We are courteous, detailed, and understanding. That's why we are Oklahoma's #1 choice for bail bonds. Being upfront and honest about everything is one thing we do here at Lightning Bell Bonds. Tell you straight how it is, and that way we can keep an honest relationship and be on the same page at all times. Give us a call today. My name is Ryan Gallimore, Lightning Bell Bonds, your first call to a brighter future.
This week in the NPFL was pretty much what we expected, with the exception of the shellacking brought to you by Texas Bullets on the Arlington Mustangs with a score of 81-0. For more information about the NPFL, here's J.C. Kimmey, CEO of the NPFL.
Thanks again for having me, Chris. Pleasure to be on the show. I am live from the Gateway Hotel here in the DFW. If you're ever at the High Five in the DFW, come on by and see us at the Gateway Hotel, where we do this week in the NPFL as part of the Major League Minor Football program. Let's jump right into the scores from the Eastern Conference in the NPFL. This past weekend, it was the Dallas Vikings 46, the Northeast Texas Raptors 12. Great game presentation by the Northeast Texas Raptors. A real family-style atmosphere and a great event put on by those guys. I want to give a special tip of the cap to them in that. It was the DeSoto Tarantulas 22, the Denton County Rhinos 14, the Austin Vipers 26, the Texas War Eagles 3, the Texas Bullets big winners over the Arlington Mustangs 81-0, and the DFW Reign took on the Metroplex Pride and came away with the win 36-22. Let's jump very quickly out to the west, where the Amarillo Horned Frogs made their debut in the NPFL and came away big winners 56-0 over the West Texas Outlaws. The West Texas Pride continued their winning ways, 13-12 over the Otero Desert Dogs. A daring attempt at a two-point conversion at the end of that game by Otero came up short. I talked to Coach Haney after the game, and he said, "We had it. We just had a slight error in execution." Big ups to those guys for going for two and attempting to get what would have been a big win. The West Texas Lions got off the schneid and improved to 1-1 on the season. They defeated the Sun City Reapers 24-3. It was the Lubbock Liberty 27 over the West Texas Drillers at 27-12, the final in that one. And the Lubbock Liberty improved to 1-0 on the season. The Drillers fall to 0-2 on the season. Let's jump right into this week's action and get a rundown of the games. Let's stay out west, where the West Texas Drillers will take on the Amarillo Horned Frogs. The West Texas Lions will travel up to Lubbock and take on the Lubbock Liberty. The Otero Desert Dogs and the Sun City Reapers will lock it up in El Paso. And the West Texas Outlaws will travel down to Midland to take on the West Texas Pride. Back east, we've got the DFW Reign taking on the Dallas Vikings. The Arlington Mustangs try to get off the schneid as they head out to Northeast Texas to take on the Raptors. The North Texas Stampede, 1-0 on the season, will take on the Denton County Rhinos, who are 1-1 on the young season. The DeSoto Tarantulas, 2-0 on this NPFL 2018 season, will head down Austin way and take on the mighty 2-0 defending NPFL champion Austin Vipers. That one looks to be a good one. And in the final game in the Eastern Conference, we've got the Texas Bullets hosting the Texas War Eagles. Check that. The War Eagles are the host in that game against the Texas Bullets. The Metroplex Pride have the week off. Again, thanks for having me, Chris. If there's an NPFL game in your area, be sure to check it out. Again, I'm J.C. Kimmey signing off.
Well, that's our show, folks. Tune in next week as we tackle the headlines with the PAFA as well as the NPFL. But before we go, we'd like to introduce you to our newest sponsor, ProVision Roofing. For all your roofing needs, visit www.proroofingok.com. We look forward to bringing you scores, highlights, rankings, and much, much more on the next Major League Minor show. Bye.